Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of Down in the Bayou for season two. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be starting this thing up again. As you know, the playoffs are coming to an end as we get to the Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals matchups soon. And the Pelicans have been done for a while. So I've had a lot of time to kind of think about the direction I want to go with this podcast, and I'm excited to announce um, that I am going to be doing same down in the Bayou for this next NBA season, but I'm just going to be focusing on the New Orleans Pelicans so I can devote my time to my favorite team and cover them and follow them in depth. And I can't wait for this journey because I think it's going to be a unique journey for me. As you know, we have a lottery pick now, and the lottery was chaotic. It was chaotic in how it panned out. The number one pick, 1.8% chance, cosmic chance that the number one pick is going to the Dallas Mavericks. So the Pelicans didn't luck out. We are taking pick number 7. And with today's topic, I want to start off this new season of Down in the Bayou talking about who should the Pelicans draft at number 7. Number 7 is a lucky number. um, did we want number 7 in particular? No, we wanted number 1 or to at least be in the top 3 because there's some amazing talent there that could really help out the Pelicans this next season. But God gave us number 7, so that's what we're going to roll with. And actually, taking some time to think about who we can land at 7, you know, at first I was bummed. It's like, oh man, we didn't, we had a 12.5% chance to land the number 1. We were supposed to be in the top 3 at least, and we fell out and we fell down 3 spots to number 7. And I was really bummed at first. But then, like, I kind of digested it, and I consumed some Pelicans media, like Boot Crew media. Shout out to those guys; they're amazing on Pro Pels Talk, and it just got me thinking. Like, it really isn't a disaster. The Pelicans can go so many ways now with this 7th pick, um, and there's a world where we don't keep this pick, which is actually pretty likely. We could end up facilitating a Giannis deal because if you don't know, the New Orleans Pelicans in that Drew Holiday trade years back to Milwaukee, we own their picks for next year and the year after, pick swap. So we own their pick, and they're going to want that back because, as we can see, Giannis is thinking about leaving, and it's been more serious now than ever. And he's kind of named, and his camp is named, and NBA media has named some destinations that are likely for him that he wants to go, including San Antonio to pair up with Wemby. And that is an awesome opportunity for us to snag that number 2 pick away from San Antonio and facilitate a Giannis deal because we can, package those two, maybe DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones, somebody. We could just kind of facilitate that trade and give them our 7th pick along with some whatever they want. And we end up getting the number 2 pick. And if we had the number 2 pick, I'm picking Dylan Harper. I think he would be an amazing fit with this Pelicans squad and Zion and Trey. We've been needing a point guard for a long time. But we don't have that. We don't have the number 2 pick. It's not guaranteed. The reality of the situation is we have the 7th pick. And yeah, there's a world where we can facilitate that Giannis trade from the Bucks and give them their picks back. It's very enticing for them. And we could end up with the 2nd pick or even Stephon Castle. Who knows? But today, that's not what I want to talk about. In this first episode of Down in the Bayou Season 2, I want to talk about who should the Pelicans draft at number 7. And I have narrowed it down to my 2 guys. And if we come away with these 2 guys, either one, I will be ecstatic for the direction the Pelicans can go and are in currently. And we're going to talk about those 2 guys here in a second. There's one that I'm going to go over first that he is my top guy. And after digesting his film and really, really just doing a deep dive on who this kid is and how he plays, and I saw him in the March Madness tournament, Yeah, I'm just sold on him, and I want him so bad, on the Pelicans, pause. I want him so bad on the Pelicans, roster, just how it's constructed, and, I think if you actually know ball, you'll kind of see my vision here. But first, I'll kinda wanna pull up an image, that I thought was really cool, on the draft lottery night. So we decided to send our franchise player, Zion, and I love this move by the Pelicans front office. We're basically putting Zion out there as he's staying. He's a Pelican. We are building around him. We believe him. He's turning the corner. He's our franchise guy. And there's a really cool picture actually, of Zion and the Dream. Um, and as you know, Zion's still in shape, man. He looks great. Looks happy to be representing us, even though we didn't get the Zion Luck for number 7. We got Zion Luck for number 7 instead of number 1. But hey, glad Big Z's up there doing his thing for us and holding it down for us. Looks great. I thought it was really cool to see him with the Dream. So yeah, who are we gonna pick at number 7? So this is BayouSniper's edition of who I want and who I hope to see us draft June 26th. And the first guy I want to talk about is who I want the most, and that is Mr. Derek Queen out of Maryland. He's from Baltimore. He's 20 years old, 6'10", 246. He averaged 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists with Maryland as their big man. And throughout the year, he just gained more and more traction and attention. And then March Madness, he hit that game-winning shot against Colorado State. And yeah, it was just awesome. And I was high on him before, but I was kind of like, yeah, he could probably go, top 10 somewhere. But after we do have number 7, and after really looking at who he is as a basketball player and as a person, he's my guy. I'm sold. I want him in a Pelicans uniform if we keep this pick. Um, if you look at his tape, he has an old man game. He doesn't play above the rim. He looks slow and athletic, but there's a beauty to it and it works. And that is actually what the Pelicans need. We need a smart player. We need a smart big man who doesn't have to play the 5. We already have Yves Missi. And when I see us drafting Derek Queen, I see him actually being able to be himself. And you rarely see that with draft prospects. Either they go to, a team where they're trying to mold him into something, or they go into a team where he has to fit this role, and they don't let him be who he actually is. It's very rare for a rookie, and I think the Pelicans are in position to bring the best out of Derek Queen, and we get the best out of him, and we get to just let him play his game because we have Yves Missi at the 5. He's just our energy 5. He doesn't do anything else but rebound and dunk and block. That's all we want. Derek Queen doesn't have to play the 5. He is a 4. A 6'10" 4, 6'9" without shoes. With his skill set, he could be a hub 4 for the Pelicans. Move Zion to the 3, Trey at the 2. That's a huge lineup. And Zion and Derek Queen, I think they would play perfect next to each other. We have never had a hub for Zion. We've never had a hub for Trey, a hub big man. Jonas was the closest thing we came to it, and he just wasn't it, as we know. I love Jonas, but yeah, he wasn't who we needed to succeed. And I think Derek Queen, he reminds me of kind of like, okay, I want to get this straight. He reminds me of Jokic. He's not Jokic by any means. I'm not comparing him to Jokic. What I'm saying is, in terms of the draft, I think he will get overlooked like Jokic did. He's not athletic, he's not fast, he's not explosive, he doesn't play above the rim, he's a big, and the people aren't really seeing his skill at his age, that he will blossom into an amazing NBA player, at least a 10 to 15-year career if he's healthy. He can pass, y'all. His playmaking and transition ability, even though it's slow, he's smart with the ball. He has a tight handle for a big, and man, he can pass the ball. He's super smart, and his scoring ability is amazing from free throw line down, and he can shoot the mid range at any given point through any of the spots on the floor. He likes to start off, in a Zach Randolph way, that area on the inside of the wings, he likes to start there and then do his work there, and he has a plethora of moves. His footwork's amazing. He can finish strong at the rim. He can throw it down. And I just see like big to big lobs with him and Zion, him and Misi, and Zion gets to kind of move more to the perimeter and drive in fast and kick out to Trey. And I think Derek Queen is a perfect fit for the New Orleans Pelicans. His playmaking is so underrated. He only averaged 2 assists at Maryland, but though when he does have the ball, which Maryland got in these really weird funks where they didn't let Derek Queen touch the ball, and he would get frustrated, and you could see that. But when he touched the ball, it was magic, and I think there's something there. And just having a hub big and letting Zion go to the three just excites me so much as a Pelicans fan. And a 6'10" four, and then you have Misi, who's a 7-footer, and then Zion is a three who can now bully all the other threes, and Trey at the two. It's massive. The only question for us is point guard. And DeJounte, I don't know when he'll come back, and we have Jose, and I think we can make some moves in the offseason, maybe get Drew Holiday back from Boston just to fill that role as a backup point guard, but started him at point until DeJounte gets back or whatever we do there. Garland's open and on the Cavs. I can see that being a possibility for New Orleans. But Derek Queen at the four, this seems like a no-brainer for me the more I think about it. And I don't think a lot of people are thinking of him as going to the Pelicans at 7. But I think Derek Queen in a Pelicans uniform at the start of the 25-26 NBA season would just be a dream for me. And it would be a dream for Pelicans fans once the season progresses and they see what I'm talking about. Zion needs a guy like Derek Queen, and Derek Queen can benefit from a guy like Zion. I think Zion's due for a big year, and what can unlock him is, a guy who can rebound and unlock the offensive floor for him with space and passing and everything. And I think Derek Queen's that guy. If I'm Joe Dumars in the front office, this is who I'm getting. And his motor is incredible. His mom was an amazing basketball player, and that's probably where he learned his footwork from. Just an all-around great kid, hard worker, high motor, Derek Queen. Look him up, guys. I think, I consume a lot of NBA media, whether that be, like off the cuff stuff like Gil's Arena or, nerd stuff like Zach Lowe, like The Ringer, like I'm in everything. And Gilbert Arenas actually mentioned Derek and said that this guy should go number 2, but a lot of people are going to overlook him because of the lack of athleticism, which in today's game, like, who cares, man? We're looking for that next Jokic. That's what we're looking for. And a guy like Derek Queen with Zion and shooter like Trey, my boy Hawk, like, man, I just see a world where this is a perfect fit, and this is who I'm selecting if I'm the Pelicans. Now, we talked about my favorite prospect. Now I want to go to somebody. Let's say Derek Queen is off the table, or we don't, like, the front office doesn't see my vision, which they should. But they don't see it. A guy who I want, if we don't get Derek Queen, is this guard right here out of Oklahoma, Jeremiah Fears. Severely underrated in my opinion as well. He's the second youngest in the draft lottery behind Cooper Flagg. He will turn 19 as soon as the season starts. He's 18 right now. Should have been in high school just like Cooper. 6'4", 182. Average 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, kind of a do-it-all, dynamic downhill playmaking guard. Something the Pelicans don't have and haven't had. Trey is who Trey is. He's kind of a wing disguising himself as a shooting guard this past year. I think that's where he's headed. So we need someone at the controls. We need someone at the point. And I think Jeremiah Fears can be that guy. I see a lot of Devin Booker mixed with Tyrese Maxey, like a kind of a smaller Devin Booker, with Tyrese Maxey handles. Like I kind of see Jeremiah Fears in this light. He can finish with the best of them. He can throw it down at 6'4". His passing is something that I think that will come, his playmaking. But once he gets downhill, he makes magical plays. But he has to. I think that Jeremiah Fears is more of a developmental prospect for the Pelicans, and I would love to have him, and I think he could flourish in our system. You know, um, with DeJounte out, if we drafted Jeremiah, he could start and really, really pick up his development from that whole season until DeJounte gets back, or we move off from him, and who knows? Um, or he could come off the bench with Jordan Hawkins, and they could just be a dynamic duo. Like I see Jeremiah Fears being a really, really good prospect for the Pelicans. So he's a player that this franchise hasn't had in a long time or ever had. Chris Paul was our last like amazing point guard, but he was a point guard. Like Jeremiah Fears isn't a prototypical floor general point guard. He's more of a combo guard. But I see a world where he can develop into that floor general Tyrese Maxey type, but Devin Booker scoring ability, like that's a ceiling in my opinion. And I think he has a lot of upside, a lot of upside. Seeing him at OU this year, he just got better and better and better with each week. Each week, he just got better. 3-point percentage is at 28%. That concerns me a little bit. But if he can stroke it, he can stroke it. Pause. And I think at the NBA level, there's ways for him to really, really focus and hone in on that and improve that, like a lot of players have a lot. Even in the Pelicans, like Lonzo Ball, while he was here, we turned him into a shooter, and now look at him. Yeah, I think if Derek Queen's off the board, Jeremiah Fears is a good pick for us if we keep pick number 7. And guys, those are the two prospects that I want in a Pelicans uniform next year. One of the two, by the time June hits, and I will be at Summer League, so hit me up there. That's why I'm so passionate about this next draft pick, because I will be at my first Summer League and I'll be able to see them, play in a Pelicans uniform for the very first time, and I cannot wait for that memory and to see them grow with our franchise. So yeah, just to recap, my number 1 guy is Derek Queen out of Maryland. He could play the 4, Zion the 3, and Trey at the 2, Emesi at the 5. I think that's a hell of a core. And he can be a hub for us. And I'm telling you, whoever gets this kid in the lottery is a lucky franchise, because he will be something. And then my second choice would be Jeremiah Fears, who I've been high on all year. Love him. I would have even taken him if we were at 5. I think he's a great, great upside guard with a lot of potential. So much. Thank y'all so much for joining the first episode of season 2 of Down in the Bayou. I will be doing these episodes throughout the summer as I see fit. It won't be weekly, but when the season starts, and especially after we draft our guy at Summer League, when the season starts, this will be a weekly podcast covering the Pelicans. I'll add in some Top Shot here and there, but I'm mainly going to focus on the Pelicans and just have fun and enjoy following my favorite team from start to finish. And I couldn't be more thankful of the support from my family on X to Discord and all the NBA Top Shot community, Badge County, Collected and Connected. I would love just NBA fans in general to follow me more, Pelicans fans especially, guys from Boot Crew Media or Pro Pels Talk or Locked On Pelicans. Like, I would love to get involved in that and just cover the Pelicans, because I love this team and I can't wait to see what we do, especially with our 7th pick this summer. Okay, guys, thank y'all so much. This is BayouSniper, Season 2, Episode 1. Thank y'all so much for watching. See y'all later.